and in the belly of the fish. That's where Jonah got right with God. Now we're going to get to the good part here as we'll close out. But when God says go and you say no. You know, there are a lot of people who really don't have a relationship with the Lord, who come to churches and kind of marginal in their membership. But really this is a message tonight for you folks. The ones who come to church about every time there's something going on, and you come for the right reasons. But we need to be very cautious in our lives. I mean, Jonah, there must have been something about him. Because, see, Nineveh was probably about as worse a place as a Hebrew preacher could go. They didn't like each other. They were enemies. And for God to tell Jonah, you're the one preacher right now who I want to go to Nineveh and preach. Jonah must have been a pretty powerful, influential man. Now, God can call anybody at any time and use us, but there must have been something about Jonah why God said, you're the man for this job. And Jonah did it. And you see, that's how we can be sometimes. Something that's really, to us, it may not be that major, but it's major to God sometimes. Those little things that He can ask us to do that we ought to do for Him sometimes. Oh, Lord, I don't know. Not today. Well, I like this second part. When God says go and you say no, but when God says go and you say let's go. You know, the book of Jonah is the book of starting over again. Chapter 1, he's running away from God. Chapter 2, he's returning again to God, because that's where he got right during that dark, distressing, disturbing time of his life. That's what it took with Jonah for him to get right. But he did. And I'm thankful we have a God of the second chance. And we have a God of the third chance and fourth chance and even the 24th chance. But there's always in between there, when we say no initially, there's going to be a price to pay, and there's some things that we can miss out on. But in chapter 3, God said go, and Jonah said let's go. And in chapter 3 is one of the greatest revivals that ever occurred, I believe, in the history of the world. At least 120,000 people were in that city. It wasn't, the preaching wasn't expository. I went to a seminary where they want you to preach expositorily. You go through books verse by verse, and I try to do that. But I've told folks, man, I'd love to preach a sermon like Jonah preached. Yet 40 days and Nineveh shall be overthrown. Yet 40 days and Nineveh shall be overthrown.